friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justina, and here I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you through my DIYs. As you see by clicking on today's video and by today's title, I have all new spring and Easter DIYs that will actually save money in your pocket. And who doesn't like to save some money? I am super excited to share these DIYs with you, and I cannot wait for us to get started. But before we get started, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, we would really love to have you here, part of our virtual art family. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and spending a little time with me doing some DIYs. But don't forget to do all the YouTubey things down below, which is like, comment, and at least share it to one friend. It really does help out my channel. Now, with all that being said, let's just jump right into it and let's art today. First DIY, I have some wooden ornaments from Dollar Tree. I have two different shapes, as you see here. I have the bunnies and the egg shapes, and they normally come in a 10-pack this year, but I believe last year it was an 8-pack. These are from last year. I've had them in my Easter stash for a while, and I want to make a pattern with them. I want to do bunny, egg, bunny, egg, bunny, egg. Then I need to paint them. I really wanted my pattern ornaments to be really bright and vibrant, and these are the colors that I chose. And yes, they happen to be all of the colors in the rainbow, but they're more vibrant, and I absolutely love all of these colors because they are so vibrant. So now it's time to actually paint each individual ornament, and I'm just laying the paint right on top of the wooden ornament and I'm going to paint it. That is pretty much it. I try not to go over on the other side because I have a surprise for that later, but I do end up doing at least 2 coats so that each one of those colors is nice and opaque. Next, as you see here, I'm just doing the same exact thing with our next color, and then I will continue all the way down the rainbow. As you see here, this is yellow. Now, each of those ornaments had a wooden grain going a certain direction. So the eggs, as you see here, had the wooden grain going vertically, and then on the bunnies they were going horizontal. So I just followed the wooden grain just so that it looks like the paint was intentional. After I had my 2 coats painted, they should start looking like this, and I absolutely love it. Now, the wooden grain does seep through the paint, so that's why I say do multiple coats. Now, like I mentioned before, for the opposite side, I wanted to paint them a different color. That's because I'm going to turn these wooden ornaments into a shelf sitter sign. So you want to make sure that when you turn it around, it's starting from the back to the front. That way, when you turn it around, it can be legible on both sides. These are the colors that I am choosing, and these are the more pastel rainbow colors that I have in my collection. If you want to know exactly what I'm using, there's a picture of all of the colors. And once again, I am just going to add the paint right onto it, and with the little magic of video editing, all of our ornaments are painted. Here's the front side, and like I said, they're so vibrant. Now, to actually make the sign part of our sign, I'm just using Dollar Tree poster stickers that I had in my crafting stash for years. And I know at this point Dollar Tree has many more different types of stickers that you can possibly use, but I'm just trying to save a little bit of money and just use what I have on hand. I don't mind that the letters are black. I really feel like they do pop off of the colorful background, but if you do not like that color, you can always change up your stickers. I've also painted these stickers before, and it holds paint well, so that's a different option also. After I have my first sign with all the letters, I flipped it around on the opposite end, and I'm putting on my second sign, and this sign is going to say Easter. The first side obviously said spring. That way I can use it for spring and Easter, and the reason I say you save a buck is because you have a 2-sided sign that you can use throughout the whole spring season. Now, if you want your stickers to be longer lasting, I suggest Mod Podging them down, but I chose not to, just in case I want to reuse the sign for a different use. Now I need a stand for my sign, and I have these extra large popsicle sticks in my crafting stash, and I'm just using 3 of them. Now 2 of them are actually the length of it, but to connect them I needed a third one. And then I realized it was uneven because I do flip it over, but I do add another popsicle stick to make it even on the bottom. I do show that later if you're confused about what I'm saying. Next, I start placing my letters from the middle onto the popsicle stick so I know exactly where each letter goes and that it is as evenly distributed as possible. Next, to attach my ornaments to the wooden frame or the wooden stand, I am just using hot glue. I don't use any braces or any wooden pieces to hold it up. I'm just using hot glue. I add a little bead on the bottom. I place my letter or my ornament right into it, and then I hold it until it completely dries. Once you have your second ornament on, you can then start connecting them to each other, and that also gives it support, but you can always add beads on the bottom to make it a little bit more structurally sound. But I chose not to, and this is fine because it's just going to be placed onto my shelf. I do continue adding hot glue to the rest of my letters, and this is how it looks after they had completely dry. And yes, they do hold up well. And once you flip it over, you see what I'm saying. The Easter starts on the egg, which is the last letter of spring. And like I said before, down here I added another popsicle stick so it's nice and leveled. Next, to decorate the stand of our sign, I'm adding some of this green moss from Dollar Tree. I don't know about you, but I'm having a hard time finding more moss from Dollar Tree. So this is like the very end of my stash, and I'm just adding it to the bottom of my sign using my hot glue gun. And then I continue doing the same exact thing for the other side. I'm just adding a little bead of hot glue and the rest of the moss that I can possibly make stretch, and then I'm just adding it right on top of the glue. After that was done, each side gets its own decorations. So for this side, I made little orange bows for the bunnies, and I'm just placing it right onto the ears using my hot glue gun. All I did was a shoelace bow off camera, and then I'm just adding it to the top. For the egg parts, I'm just adding a nice pearl bead right into the hole just so that we can cover the little holes that these ornaments always have. For our Easter side, I found 2 glittery foam eggs from Dollar Tree in my crafting stash, and I'm placing one on each end. I added the purple on the purple bunny and the pink on the pink egg. Now once again, I am adding a pearl bead to the bunny's ears this time, and then for the Easter eggs, I found some jute twine and I just made another shoelace bow, added those on, and that completes our first DIY. I absolutely loved how this shelf sitter sign turned out. It is super colorful, vibrant, and it just really brings a smile to my face because I'm so ready to start decorating with all different types of colors, especially for the springtime. Now, I really made my dollar stretch here because I have a double sign that I can use on 2 separate occasions, and I had everything on hand so I didn't have to go out and spend anything. Now, I would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comment section below. Moving right into our next DIY, I have purchased this time this $5 set of 4 Peeps egg containers that I absolutely love. And even though I spent $5, I really think it is a good price for the size and the amount of containers that you get in just this one purchase. So as you see here, it does come in 4 different sizes and 4 different colors, which I absolutely love the vibrant colors. like I mentioned before, for spring and Easter. But to really make your dollar stretch on this one, I want to turn this into 2 stacking topiaries. Now, to do so, I am removing them from its backing, and as you see here, we have 2 stacks. Now, to make my topiary, I have this wooden dowel that I purchased from Walmart. It was only 76 cents each, so I grabbed a few of them because I've been doing a lot of stacking DIYs. But here are the measurements if you are wanting to know how long it is. And I am going to start adding it to those bunnies. Now, to add them to the dowel, I have to make a hole. And for me, I personally like to use a wood burning tool. It's easy for me and the safer option, so that if you're trying to use a knife, you don't slip and cut yourself. But if you tend to use a wood burning tool, make sure you do all of the safety PPEs, which is open a window, you can wear a mask, and be in a well ventilated area. The best solution is to go outside. So as you see here, I'm just adding my wood burning tool right onto the area where I want to make a hole. I'm trying to go in a rounded motion so that it makes a perfect hole. Here's a better look on that. As you see here, I just press down slowly, and then I'm just making a circle with it so that I make a nice rounded hole so that we can slip it right into the dowel and it stacks up nicely. Now with my first bunny, I made the hole really small so that it is nice and snug. That way it won't move anywhere, and then I start stacking the rest. Now for the top bunny, as you see here, it was going to fall over and move all over the place. So to remedy that, I'm going to add a piece of floral foam right on the inside. And I'm just using hot glue to attach the floral foam on the inside of our bunny here. And that way, if I want to remove it later, I can just rip that out and I can use it again next year. Then I place the dowel right in the hole that we created into the floral foam, and it does not move. Do the same exact thing for the other stack of bunnies that we push to the side. Now to hide those dowels that are in between each of the bunnies, I'm using some floral foam. I'm shoving it down there to make sure it's the perfect size, and then I'm attaching it using my hot glue gun. Now, even though I want to remove this later on until the season is over, using my hot glue is easy because it will pop right off of that dowel and then I can store it away later. Now to hide the floral foam and the dowel, I'm going to use different types of greenery, some leaves, and some floral. Once again, I am just using my hot glue to attach everything down. As I'm gluing down my greenery and my florals, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, we would love to have you here, part of our virtual art family. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for clicking on today's video and joining me in making some of these DIYs. But don't forget to do all of the YouTube things down below, which is like, comment, and share it to at least one friend. It really does help out my channel. Now, once I was done with my topiary parts, it is now time to add a base for it, and I'm just going to use what I have on hand, which is a terracotta pot. I bought these back when the 99-cent store was open and was going out of business, and I purchased so much. So it wasn't $1.49. I believe it was about 25 cents. I want to cover it first using my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. Now, I've been painting terracotta pots for a long time now, it feels like, and the best solution that I found out is to seal your terracotta pot first. Use any type of sealant that you have. I like to use the Rust-Oleum sealant and then paint on top of that. That way, when you add your paint, the terracotta pot isn't soaking in all that paint and you have to use multiple coats to get good coverage. Will definitely save you a lot of paint and a lot of time. But I had to use about 2 coats because I did not seal mine. And then on top of my white paint, I'm going to add my apple barrel paints in blue, pink, and yellow. I like these because they remind me of spring and Easter. So I flipped my pot around and I first started off using that blue acrylic paint. Now, since they are acrylic paints, you're still going to need a couple of coats on top of it because acrylic paint seems to be really thin, at least the Apple Barrel brand. But you can make a dozen of beautiful artworks with using this apple barrel paint, so I don't mind it at all. I just add a couple of coats, and when I was done with the blue, I moved on to the yellow, and now I'm moving on to the pink. Once again, like I mentioned, I do have to give it a couple of coats, and I do the same exact thing with another pot for our second topiary. Now, as you see here, I wanted to paint the inside of my pot, and I'm just using the pink color for the whole entire inside of it. Here's how it looks after the whole thing is completely dry, and since this is a satin pink, it does have a little shimmer. Now, to attach everything together, I wanted to dummy up the bottom of my pot, and I just had a half of a foam ball that I've used in plenty of DIYs. I put that down first, and then I put down some floral foam. As you see there was a hole into it because I've used that a couple of times. And next, I'm filling up the sides with plastic bags and some crafting paper, just to make sure that everything is nice and snug and holds that floral foam to stay right into the center. Now, to hide the crafting paper, I found these felt sheets in my Easter spring stash, and I'm just removing them from the packaging, and I'm just adding it on top of our crafting paper that is in our flower pot. Next, I'm taking a topiary and sticking it down into the floral foam, and then adding the other felt sheet. Now, you can always add some rocks or some flowers to yours, but I decided to add the felt sheet, and once that was completed, that completes this DIY. I absolutely loved how these topiaries turned out. They are super adorable, very vibrant, and perfect for Easter and spring decor. Now, as you see, I did not add eyes to the secondary one, but I kind of like it better that way. But I would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comment section below. Moving right into our next DIY, I have these adorable small terracotta pots that I've had in my collection for a while, and that brown stuff on the inside is just fake dirt because it was holding a fake succulent. I also have these craft eggs from Dollar Tree. They are foam, and I'm taking out 6 of them. I am also going to make a miniature topiary, but using these foam eggs. To paint my eggs, I'm using these 3 paints, and I'm just going to show you the new paint that I've used because the other 2 have been in the other DIYs. And this green or aqua color is so beautiful. I did have to give each egg about 3 coats of that acrylic paint. I also painted my terracotta pots in this vibrant blue color. I've lost the footage on that, but as you see here, I just added about a couple of coats on top of that. Now, to make our topiary, once again, I'm using some floral foam, cutting it down to size, and then sticking it into our terracotta pots. I didn't have to use any adhesive for the floral foam. It was just nice and snug in the terracotta pot. Now, to make the topiary, I'm using some bamboo skewers from Dollar Tree, and I'm just placing it into the center of our eggs, pushing down very slowly so that we don't make a huge hole. And for the top one, I just stop in the middle, push up the remaining 2, and then I cut the skewer stick down to size. Then I place that skewer in the center of our floral foam and do the exact same thing for our second topiary. Lastly, all I needed to do was hide the floral foam on the bottom, and once again, I'm using some floral moss, and once that was done, that completes this DIY. Here is how our miniature egg topiary turned out, and I absolutely love it. This would be such a cute DIY for the little ones. If you have any grandchildren, little kids, nieces or nephews, a classroom full of kids for the spring and Easter time, I just think it's so adorable. But I would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comment section below. All right, friends, that completes today's round of DIYs. I had really a blast making each and every one of these, and I like the fact that I saved a little bit of money and just used what I had on hand, or really use the potential of the item that I was using. I would love to know which one was your favorite down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, if you can leave little Easter eggs in the comment sections as well, so I can just see all of the little Easter eggs. And if you stuck it out all the way to the end, you really are the true VIPs of this channel. Remember, friends, if you are new here but not yet a subscriber, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell so YouTube can always notify you every time we upload a new video. Plus, we would love to have you here, part of our virtual art family. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And if you can help me out by doing all of the YouTubey things down below, which is like, comment, and share it to at least one friend, it seriously does help out my channel. Remember, friends, I also have other socials. All of those links will be down in the description box below. I have a Facebook and Instagram, and now I just opened my Patreon page. If you would like to see more information about that, that will be linked down in the description box below. Speaking of Patreons, I need to give a shout out to my 2 Patreons that just became a member this month. Thank you so much for joining. It really does touch my heart, and I'm super excited. If you are wondering what a Patreon is, I do have a video linked down in the description box below. You can check that out after this video. Once again, thank you so much for everyone who has stuck around and watched the whole video in its entirety. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you enjoy. And as always, I will see you in the next one.